I am a fugitive. Not a fugitive from justice, a fugitive for justice. So how the story goes is about 2 years ago, after 1 year being at 4301 Kingston Road, the Toronto Community Housing Complex, I did some unbelievable things in repairs and maintenance of the property, such as the child care center that was infested with pigeon poop, such as the gazebo area where the children played that was infested with dog poop, such as the back area that was infested with litter, such as the busted banisters, such as the pool that had no lights in the deep end and a heater that did not work, such as the despicable conditions of the carpets in a 50-year-old building that was infested with poo, feces, puke, blood, and all different ailments. I worked my butt off 24/7, up and down the stairways, photographing and videotaping all the issues, and sent it to the City of Toronto and Toronto Community Housing. A gang of individuals who are been in the community for decades started attacking me, saying they like it the way it is. I am a person that don't relate as a black person or a white person. And I will publicly speak saying that I do not like black people or white people, but I love good people. I love people. The reason I have that view is because my grandfather is a Caucasian. My grandmother is a Negro. They had 14 children. One of them was my mother, and my mother had me. I do not believe that people are black or white because of the blood cells. The blood cells are red and white. So I publicly speak out, stating that you cannot be white if you have red blood cells, because there's no red in white. You cannot be black if you have white blood cells, because there's no white in black. People are called black and white, but that is a systematic way of creating separation and racism. A group of individuals attacked me, stating that I dislike white people, when I don't look at people as white or black. I just ask people not to teach children that they're black or white, because that creates separation and discrimination. For the next 2 years after that, I went through the greatest form of torture in my life, just as the previous social activist who recently passed away. Unprecedented attacks, assaults, to where I had to run for my life numerous times. So many times we called security and the police, and they victimized me. Eventually, 2 of the individuals who had attacked me were charged. The Crown proceeded and the police laid the charges, but when I went to send information to the police about the crimes, the police tells me to take them off their mailing list. If they called the police on me, within 10-15 minutes, the police or security would show up. But if I called the police on them, it would be hours, days, or they would not show up. I have numerous videos, numerous photos, and numerous documentation from residents stating that there is a gang, a white residents gang, and tenants are in fear. All those were ignored. So when the first individual went to court, I tried to contact the Crown and the police and had no success in giving information to them. I found out the charges were stayed against this first individual, and the individual persisted with extreme harassment and attacks on me. I tried to appeal to the Crown not to stay the charges without hearing my victim impact statement, with no avail. Another individual was charged and went through the court system, and even when I contacted the Crown and the police, they would not take any information from me, And eventually I found from that individual who had an order not to communicate with me that the charges were going to withdraw. I sent an email to the Attorney General, to the Crown Attorney, and to all sorts of individuals stating that the charges should not be withdrawn because this is a vicious hate crime and I should have a say. Eventually the charges were dismissed without my involvement. Then these same individuals went to court and brought in an order saying that I was publicly speaking on social media about the crimes they'd committed and putting forth evidence of their crime. And in turn, they wanted me to stop producing information about the crimes they committed against me and others. We went through the court system and the charges were dismissed. The judge threw it out. A couple weeks later, a court clerk came to my door with a summons saying that they had brought the same charges back into court. And a court date was set. I tried to contact the Crown Attorney to find out when the date of the court was and the information for Zoom, and all I got was doors being locked, and I couldn't receive any information on the court date. The day of the court date, I tried to contact the courts, could not get through. So I figured the courts realized that the charges were dismissed, and it's the same charges, so they just threw it out. And then yesterday I was coming into the building to address a woman who had this issue with her child, a 7-year-old child, where aiders in the building were saying the child was a rapist. So she had called me over and said she wanted to speak to me. I said, I wanted to speak to you. She said, oh, you know, there's a warrant out for your arrest. I said, for what? You missed court. Turns out at the last court date, they said the new court date did not inform me of the court date. And at the date of the court date, naturally, I did not appear or contact them because I did not know of the court date. And in turn, some judge gave an order to put a warrant out for my arrest because I did not attend court on a false, made-up charge that I do not even know what the allegations are. The only allegations were that I publicly spoke out about the 8 crimes that were committed against me. And somehow, that is a crime. It's like saying a woman who got raped cannot speak out publicly about the rape, or the rapist could charge her for harassment. Imagine that. So now, I address my lawyer, Mr. Stephen Delisle, to address this issue, and I've asked for assistance from my friend Sam Collius in the event I need bail, or if they will not, use common sense. And note that you cannot issue a warrant for a man for not appearing in court when you did not inform the man of that court date. The judge should have clearly asked, was Mr. Clarke informed of this court date? And documentation should have been produced to show that you would contact Mr. Clarke by phone or by mail or in person to show that he had a court date. But at no time did the police, the Crown Attorney, or the courts contact me and inform me of the court date. But yet, a judge would irresponsibly issue a warrant. And that puts fear. Imagine that. To God be the glory of a beautiful and blessed day.